works in other states. It works in the state of New York, which has exactly the same issues that come up. And I know it works. I can show you. Do your research. It does.
Matt, I'm doing my research. I used to be a bystander. Good. All right? Now cut that out.
Senators Matt Rector and Frank Bloss Jr. were in a heated debate over Bill 36, which would provide local laws to coincide with federal laws against human trafficking. Human trafficking is the illegal practice of importing people who are essentially brought in from foreign countries as free labor or even sex slaves. Senator Matt Rector today proposed an amendment to Senator Tina Muñoz-Barnes' bill that would create an on-site inspection team headed for the Department of Labor.
My amendment was to make sure that our human trafficking bill is enforceable. We create a team that goes out and inspects in a method, in a manner that has already proven successful.
Rector says he's done research on other states like New York, for example, who have employed a similar labor inspection team. Now, while Senator Bloss is in full support of this bill, he does not agree with Senator Rector's amendment for two major reasons.
The responsibilities as proposed were very broad. It provided that this team can walk into any business establishment, any establishment whatsoever, based on suspicious information, and conduct an investigation unannounced, without any warrant.
Rector, on the other hand, doesn't see why anyone would oppose such an inspection.
I would think every legitimate, law-abiding employer would welcome and relish this.
Senator Bloss, however, has other concerns as well, specifically with issues of safety.
Are we providing individuals law enforcement powers, and these individuals have no training in that area? Taking on my experience as a former head of the vice unit for the police department and back in those days doing this type of work, I recognize the dangers inherent to doing this type of investigation.
Senator Rector stands by his amendment as he says it all comes down to enforcement of laws.
We are not enforcing our labor laws. We know that we are not enforcing our exploitation laws because, like I said when I testified, it was only a couple of weeks ago when a dozen basically slaves got up and left their enslavement compound, or work camp as they call it, and marched down in the hot sun 12 miles to the Department of Labor to complain.
Senators are expected to vote on this and the rest of the bills on this session's agenda by tomorrow. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Clint Rigel.
Well, Clint, likewise expected to make for some heated debate during session is Bill 48. Owners of small businesses have been spending time at the legislature watching and waiting to see how their elected policymakers stand on the piece of legislation introduced by Senator Rector. If indeed passed, the measure imposes a hefty annual fee for every H-2B worker brought to the island. DCK Worldwide Vice President Luis Maria says the Guam Contractors Association is against the bill because it will cause a raise in construction cost.
A house. They say, I want to build a house. Okay, say it's a $200,000 house. Half the cost of that house is probably labor. And that means that you're going to increase the cost because the majority of the housework on this island is done by small contractors that use H-2s. That cost of that house is going to go up 30%.
Senators began discussion on Bill 48 this afternoon.